pues. O sea, tú, no, qué chulo que no a dormir. ¿Quieren más?
Hell, well, the way to put that is there. I don't even see Aaron. He might not be in there. So which might need a wide angle on that. Let's go over it. Dual cameras this week. Okay, so we got 24 form. Did we check square on a few of those?
We fixed it to Pedro's about to start checking.
Okay. I mean, I just hit one or two of them yesterday with like little 3, 4, 5. One of them was good, one of them was out. I'm like, how the fuck can that be? So I started measuring. I'm like, shit, I didn't measure corner to corner. And I got help. I just stood out there 15 feet, scratched the ground, went 20 feet, scratched the ground, see how the fuck it looked. And it was like 1 inch out. I'm like, there's no fucking way it can be 1 inch out.
That'll be 3/4 because we in the top of the panel.
I'm talking,
we're pushing in 3/4.
Are we this way or are we this?
Just the top of the panel, the form.
I don't give a fuck about the curling. I was just talking about the square of the panel.
No, that should be fine. Should be fine.
First thing I would like to address though, that we need to verify. Have we verified all the perimeter piers, the top of the piers?
We got asphalt. We did asphalt right after we.
Now, I'm not talking about the southwest side. We know that's fucked up. We don't know what that is yet. But the ones that we do have, Mr. Brett, how are you? The ones that we do have around the perimeters on A and B, let's check those. Because, and I'm gonna tell you this, I did not have this issue on my job. I did 1 million square feet, 4 buildings. And Osborne hit every pier. We didn't have any sinking piers. I had no low piers, no high piers. Everything was perfect. All 4 buildings went up like clockwork. So far, we've got 2 other projects that Osborne is on, your competitor, and they fucked up piers on both jobs. They had one that was too high. They tried to pour a cap on it. We jackhammered the cap off, and the motherfucker had sand in it, like unspun concrete. So that was one issue last winter. And then now they've got issues with some elevations, I believe, on, I forget if it's one of our 2 jobs, but anyway, just make sure. I don't run around with a GPS sticking on it, but I know y'all do, and if I have to have a backup, then I can Garcia land data double check it. I don't want to, I just want to make sure that y'all making sure. Okay, and y'all are also checking their slabs for flat and square, right? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Just check those to make sure I get it, or Andre Crawford, or PE, I don't give a shit, send them to Cody, but Andre will end up with them. He needs to get those in the file so we have them for record. I'm probably gonna have ECS back check it also. I think it's part of the contract.
There's no way to start sending those plates on the perimeters.
That will be placed.
To set the panel.
For the doors.
The inlets, you know that that's gonna be critical. We can start working on.
Pretty good after, man. What do you need from me on that?
Make sure we got all the inlets, those plates.
Dude, we got 20 tons of embeds 2 weeks ago. We should have all of them except building C, and I think they're coming on the 16th.
There is a pallet right here, right out of my comments.
Morning,
We got a few inlets right there.
Those funky plates, the rest of them are down there on the parking lot on A, just on this side of the building. There's like a big long, all the shit, the Nelson stuff sticking out, and all those pallets are indexed. There's 2.
Those are panels.
Huh?
Those inlets will be for panels. We at the beginning, we got those plates to set on top of the pier to level the.
Was that hinge thing? I don't understand how that works. It's gonna be something new for me. I've never seen it before. And, when you and I got together trying to talk them out of it, I got the vice president of the county said, do what you want on the connection. And then when I went to order, they're like, fuck, we've already sent these to FAB, so it was too late to change them. Cause I just wanted to do anchor bolts and angles, and then we just put plates on the bottom. Cause the board put in there seemed like it's a lot more steel than a normal connection. I'd rather just throw the angles on, full fillet weld on both sides, and get it inspected. That's just viable. I don't know what the hell this new hingy thing is. I don't know what the fuck that even is. I don't understand how it works. It's weird. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a learning experience for us both. Right now, I want to push to get to the crane date, which is November 2. And I don't know if that's going to happen. But we need to make that date because I need to be able to put it back on Alamo for the delay. I don't want any delays. Right now, we're tracking. We've been 30 days ahead of schedule on every phase. Right now, on these steel panels, we're going to come right to schedule date. That fucking sucks for me, dude. I don't ever like to be less than 2 weeks ahead of schedule. We're 30 days ahead. That's why when Aaron starts saying, oh, I got 7 weeks by the contract. You ain't got 7 weeks by my fucking schedule. Give a fuck what you signed the contract. We're gonna push these some bitches out. We're supposed to be, today is what, October 5? 4?
Today is the 4th.
So we're literally supposed to be finishing building the crane today. That's how far off we are. We should have all the panels on building 8 done. And that's by the accelerated schedule. So the crane is supposed to arrive on October 2. It would build until today or tomorrow, maybe the 6th. We should be lifting panels next week. We're fucking 30. How far out are we from lifting panels? We're gonna pour them at 11, 21, so these panels won't. These panels that we're forming now won't be ready until the 21st to lift, right?
But most of those panels gonna set on top of the retaining wall.
Okay, let's just wait, that's the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's our, I told Aaron, look at the specs for the test brake for that damn thing, because it's 2 foot wide, it's 2 foot thick, right?
Mm-hmm.
We going 6 foot tall on it?
Yep.
Are we gonna pour that monolithically or 2 pours?
That's gotta be 2 pours.
Yeah, that's a lot. When I was a kid, one of the first things I ever seen in construction, my dad was working on Texas Stadium in 1972, 71, something like that, and they had a blowout. So they tried to pour, remember those big old angles that went up and held the roof up? They tried to pour those, they didn't try to pour it, they were pouring it monolithically, but they were doing levels in it, and they had a blowout. Dude, there was concrete for 100
Yeah,
fucking
especially when you
yards.
got the flowing form, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it blew out in concrete when everyone, that was the first time I ever seen a skid steer. They were out there shoveling that concrete. It was everywhere.
It's okay if it blows down a little bow on the inside when you get a backfill, not the outside, but that's the thing.
And the outside's gonna be exposed.
I was a little kid, so I didn't analyze how it blew out, but yeah, I've only had one blowout in all the time that I've been doing this shit, and it was a long
Like a
ass.
complete catastrophic failure,
Yeah,
not just a.
no, we had a blowout and fucking like 10 yards, 20 yards came out. We were pouring a long ass wall for an elevated sidewalk.
121, Flatiron, over there, 121, 820, kind of Haltom City, you know,
Yeah.
over there. Flatiron had they lost an entire form set when they were, holding up, doing one
A
of those
column,
bridge.
but it had a column blowout.
Yeah, they blew the whole freaking thing. Wow.
360 had a one where the form lifted up and came out the bottom, but I don't think it was the full height. But anyway, with that being said, so on the retaining wall that we're pouring down there, what is our pour date for that?
You not even have the answers.
We've got everything. We're gonna backfill with those rocks. We're gonna use that rock on the inside. I wanna use dirt on the outside to compact the shit out of the outside. I'm not concerned about the inside as I am the outside for compaction. We're gonna have to do compaction on both. So we need to start that pretty quick. And the reason I wanna do that fast is because if we pour that thing, we might have to wait for a 28-day break before they let us set on it. It's not gonna be like a panel where we do a 7-day break because it's 2 foot thick.
Yeah, but we're still waiting for interest, I mean, on the retaining wall design,
Details.
details, all, yeah.
Of the one.
Are we just continuing up with what we got?
Mm-hmm.
So and we've got, now Aaron was looking at it from a bracing standpoint, we're not gonna brace it, we're gonna backfill it. We have to brace the forms. But, I mean, I don't
But not a
understand,
wall.
I don't know why we're not proceeding on it. Are we waiting on dowels, where we have to dowel up through it, and we're gonna set dowels in a cage, dowels in a cage? Are we gonna cage it all the way? I mean, what are we doing here? I don't,
That's the thing. We
You don't know either?
Exactly.
fuck.
Yeah,
I thought we had all that info back,
no.
or y'all don't have it in the field yet.
Mm-mm.
I think the engineers sent it back. So,
I don't know to who, but we still don't have this.
that's a priority.
Yeah, it is.
And right now, here's the major concern is that you guys are totally critical path. Everything you're doing is critical path.
Everything.
Uh,
I mean, same thing with building C, you know.
I don't give a shit about building C. I mean, we can throw this fucking building up in 60 days from where it is now. I'm not concerned about building C until we get into late November, December. That's when that'll become a problem for me. Right now, A and B simultaneously going up. They're doing. Now you get to fight in lunchroom, you jump on the biggest kid first. That's A and B.
Yeah, but still, we need to know what we're gonna do with building C. It's not like,
No, well,
don't worry about building
we
C.
already got all the engineering back on that. What we're waiting on now is Aaron to come back with a price, and for whatever reason, my project manager wants the pricing for both of those
Well, that's all, yeah.
simultaneously, yeah. And I'm like, just give me A so I can start. And he's like, no, we
No,
gotta.
you're paying the whole man. He wants
No,
all
it has to
that.
do with his bookkeeping and all that shit. He's trying to keep schedule and budget. He's trying to keep the budget with schedule.
I mean, whatever direction we gotta go, I mean, we need to know. 'Cause
Well, I
we
was
gotta
talking
release
with
the
Aaron
paper,
yesterday, telling him, look,
bring it
this-
in the forms, I mean, it's a lot of,
yeah,
lot of
and,
stuff with it.
and I'm not enthusiastic about the pour schedule. We're doing 24 at a time. That's gonna be, is that 6 pours, 3 weeks?
4 pours.
4 pours
Yeah.
for, how many panels are on this thing? 75, 100?
90 something.
What's our top number on there? I haven't even looked at it. There's another thing that I'm freaking out on is that we're getting another crane and another erecting crew. Whole new company. They're gonna come in and look at this layout and freak the fuck out. They're, oh, no, we can't do that.
Well, that's another thing too, yes, we got, yes.
This is a preliminary, this is not carved in stone, but this is, once we pour those walls, that's what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
Lifting and bracing books are back. We should be getting the panel books today. They're approved, everything's straightened out. We got all the discrepancies with all that embed question that's been going on for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they didn't involve me in that. I don't wanna be involved in the fucking submittals. But if they just came and said, look, we've got an elevation issue, I looked at it and said, raise the motherfuckers up. They literally went up like 1 inch or a quarter inch or something stupid. We waited a month on something stupid like that. And we could do that in the field. And it irritates the shit out of me when the PM gets a hold of this and they just try to say, I'm gonna solve all the problems. Fuck that, hand that over to us, design, build. That's what we do. We change shit on the fly and we fix it in the field. Once I found out what was wrong with that shit, I'm like, fuck the engineer, I'll draw it, send it to him, get a stamp and get it back. Because this lingered out 4 or 5 freaking weeks. We've been dealing with this canopy panel discrepancy, and it was a big nothing burger. This is something we could have went out there and made the marks, and here's where it's supposed to be. I'm like, it's in my glass. There we go, we're good. Yeah. Move it a quarter inch up, get it out of the fucking chamfer, that's all I care. And you know, it's a discrepancies like that where they make minor changes. The design team will come in and go, oh, we want to change this mullion from black to silver, and the silver is 2 inches versus 2.5. So then they gotta either raise or lower the panel. Well, once you shorten the fucking glass, you know, they don't think like they don't have that builder's mindset. They just know what they want it to look like. And then they start making radical changes or things that are unnecessary that we could fix in the field. They're like, oh, this is simple, we'll just move this over a quarter. Or we'll just leave this down, or we'll shorten the glass size when we cut it. The bad thing on this particular project right here, they bought the glass during the pandemic shit. So glass was at a commodity. It was like really rare, difficult to get glass, long lead time. So they bought the glass pre-cut. That's like a fucking cardinal sin in the storefront world. I would never take a job putting in a storefront for pre-cut glass, ever. You don't hang to the framing, or you don't frame to the hanging, you hang to the framing. You don't put the sheetrock up, put the studs in later. You don't put the glass up and frame around it. That's just absolute cardinal sin. But that's what we got to deal with. So when we're setting these panels and we're shooting those, and they're setting over these openings, I mean, I'm not as concerned with this as I am with this. I always have priority on this. I want my roof line straight, I want my glass line straight. That's the ultimate important. Because I've had them where I've had, you have your suspended panels that hang on steel or some shit, or hang on these two opposing panels, and then you'll end up with something, you'll end up with your glass going up, and then all of a sudden you got panels down like this. No, never ever. I don't give a fuck, we gotta pull a string on it and do it Egyptian style.
Okay, well, that's something we gotta get with directors, because a lot of times they just like, hey, we gotta go.
Nope,
Get a
nope,
little
nope,
bit.
nope.
That's what.
Nope. I want my fucking glass lines, and look at all the windows in this fucking thing. I want those glass lines straight as hell. If we have to set the transit on the bottom of the window and set that panel, that's what I want to do. And I'll go out there and get the crane operator's ass in a heartbeat, because I don't want my building to look like shit. I don't want my windows like this, don't want my garage doors like this, I don't want my storefronts like this.
Right.
Not at all. Flat is king. I don't care if it's plumb, level, straight, don't care. Flat is what I want, nice straight lines. It's all about the appearance. Nobody knows, nobody gives a shit about that base. It's buried 2 foot in the ground. Nobody gives a shit about the roof line, because 99% of the time it's got a cap on it and it hides. You've got 2 inches of play. But there ain't no hiding in the windows of glass. And this thing's got reveals out the ass. So we don't want, if you're sitting off down there in that corner looking back at the building in the afternoon and the sun's coming from the west, and you got a set of lines this way and a set of lines that are straight, you're gonna see it. And they're like 2 foot apart. So you're 100 yards down the road, they're 6 inches apart. So appearance is everything on the outside of the building. Once we get to the roof line, there's a different story. And with that being said, pull the structurals, check our embeds. I want to know where that fucking roof line sits and where our fucking scuppers are. And I'm bringing that up, and I normally bring that up anyway because I used to fix that shit and I fucking hate it. I don't want to cut scuppers, and I don't want my overflows leaking either. So right now, what are our overflows and scuppers on this thing? Like a 6 inch offset, 4 inch offset, one top of the other? I do not want to be high on these scuppers at all. If I'll give you a 1/2 inch play up or down. Typically, I want them, we want them on the perfectly on the roof line. We don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with their ISO board.
Well, we're going by the book, and the book being revised 2 or 3 times, but
I know, but here's the thing that happens between them. This is where we've got to be very attentive in the field about this shit. So structural is roofing. The panels are CMC. Left hand never knows what the right hand's doing. So this is where we got to watch over engineers, and we got to be really careful about my wording when I send them engineers emails, so that I'm not going, I've got to find an elegant way to say, hey, you fucked up, or you dumbass. Because structural will make changes to the roof, and I already know that there was roof plates. What were those fucking roof seats? Were you in on that problem, Gerardo? So the roof seats 2.5 inches, they should have been 5. We could have got away with 3 or 4. 2.5 inches, too fucking small to hold a joist. Where those elevations go, and we tweaked on them, CMC don't know that. So I told them right from the get-go when I was on those conference calls with the engineers and architect and PM, do not fuck with the roof height. Find that roof height and bring those seats down to meet that. So if we increase the seat size, it needs to go down 3 inches. If it's 2 and we're going to 5, go down 3 inches. Whatever my fucking flange is on my bar joist, where that tailpiece sets, do not change that elevation, because that fucks with their scuppers. And we had that conversation 2 months ago, whenever that came up about the roof, the steel elevation, the steel erector found it. I'm like, okay, so the seats are insufficient to hold the weight. And then there was a bunch of back and forth, but my main thing was, do not alter roof height.
That means you're gonna have to go through the panel book and put a note on every panel, for any adjustments on those dimensions.
Hand it over to Pedro and tell him, look, this is where the roof seats are, go to structural, see where the roof seats are hitting the embeds. That line of embeds is probably gonna be, I'm just gonna say hypothetically, these scuppers are probably gonna be 6 inches above that. 5 or 6 inches, because we're gonna have 2.5 inches of steel, another 1.5 inches of deck, so there's 7, and 3 inches of ISO board. We're fucking talking 10 inches. So,
You got the panel book?
no, they're getting approved today, and I'm getting them printed out. I'll have physical panel books. Aaron should be sending you physical panel books as well. You can print them out over there. I'm gonna print them out here. I'm gonna see my Tom's Print Works. And that's what I've been bitching for like 2 weeks now, and at least a week. And look, I got lifting and bracing. I need these fucking panel books, and I need them now because I've got to start forming. I've been pushing this forming since we made that last pour. 3 days, let's start forming.
We start forming without the approval.
I know. And y'all are doing great about trying to hang on to this schedule. And just earlier, I voiced some concern about the speed that I'm getting answers on RFIs, and I've done that a couple of times. The speed that we're getting RFIs back is atrocious. And we're also, what we're getting is when it goes to the design team, I'm getting deferred. And then it goes to the engineer, getting deferred. Everybody's deferring to everybody else. So design team defers to engineer, engineer defers to architect defers back to design team. Because design team says, I want it to look like this. The architect says, they made a change here. Engineer goes, here's how we do it. And then they get it out to us and we go, that ain't gonna work. So then it's gotta make the whole loop back and everybody defers. And it's an endless circle of bullshit is what it is.
Taking forever.
Yeah, fucking answer the question and send it to me. Or ask me the question, I'll answer it,
We
you
get it
just
to the
stamp
point
it and
that we
send
don't
it
have
to me.
that time anymore. We get it to the point that we don't have that time.
No,
So
we don't,
gotta
they've eaten it all
Move
up.
on.
Because we're right back to this, November 2.
That's what I'm saying.
And right now, in 30 days, if we were pouring this week, and our spec is a 28 crush before we can lift. Same thing with that fucking retaining wall. So I was extrapolating this shit out 2 weeks ago. I sent an email out saying, look, I've extrapolated the look ahead to February, and to put it in a word, Cody, I just said, we are fucked. Because you guys right here are all that I've got. You and the roofers, maybe the steel guys, but I can't make up any time to roofing. Roofing's roofing, man. It's like kind of like drying time on paint. It's just gonna go as it goes. So I mean, this is it. If we fall off on concrete, the steel guys are never gonna make it up. The steel guys are never gonna make it up. And right now, we don't even have steel erectors, so. I'm on the phone fucking going, sweating them out. So that's Alamo's problem. They need to send us a crane, and they sent me as an erector crew. I was pushing for 2 erector crews.
Yeah, but now we're doing panels. Are they gonna be agreeing with the panel layout?
They have no choice on this one because it's already in motion. Again, that's Alamo's problem, not ours. If they say, where did you get it? I'll follow the sword and say it's my layout. Of course, if it was my layout, we'd have more stacks yet. Juan, did we get them flattened out in these 2 areas on the east side of the building for?
Yeah, that's what I told them. They're gonna start like turning over right here. But they already told me.
And down there on that end, Donato, you know we're gonna have like you want just a straight drop between those 2?
Where?
from those, so those 4 panels, no, they're not.
Northeast one?
So 2 of those panels are gonna be down 4 foot and 2 of them up.
We may gonna have to separate the custom beds for
Yes.
2 different elevations.
So if we need to alter those in any way, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm told the water foreman today, they're ready, right here.
What is that corner panel down there on that 3rd panel? Cause remember, the panels have to set back. So where the panel's sitting, it's gotta set back. If it's set straight, it's not gonna work. We can't reach over the panel to set the panel. We have to sit next to the panel, and so what I'm saying is set back like. So shit, there's 4. So these 2 are up high, this one's up high. Is they gonna cut that road off? Fuck. Maybe turn them or something, or move them. The thing about moving them this way, here's what I'm saying, set back. So here's your number 29. Where the fuck's 29 even set? That's not right.
Top, maybe se está diferente.
90.
88, 90. Fuck, I got 29, it's 92.
This is 92 one right
Okay,
here.
okay, yeah, so that goes there, that's cool, that's good.
Yeah,
It works.
because it's not straight.
Because remember, we're coming out, we're sitting back, so this sits here, one under it sits there, one under it sits there, one under it sits there, it goes top over here. We have to sit back, because the cranes would come out, sit panel, move, sit panel. He has to grab the panel and go this way, we can't grab the panel and go the other way. We can never go this way, it always has to go backwards. So he'll grab this and swing it into place, and then he'll grab that and swing it into place, we'll come down this lower part. Fuck, that's gonna be a bitch. He may be able to reach over the stand, he's gonna have to. They're gonna reach in and pull this one here, these 2 go there, where does this one go?
This is 91. 91 is the one right here.
What the fuck, man? It's 91, 92. There's 90, 91, 92. Okay, well, he's gonna set panel 89. Because here's 88, I bet that's 89. Yeah, he's gonna set 89, he's gonna grab this one here. Then he's gonna come and grab this one here, this one here.
No, this is 90.
Well, that's 89, he's gonna grab 90, where's 91? Oh, 91, he's gonna pull this one up. Then we're down to 1. So we got 91 fucking panels, 92 panels.
92.
I just need the okay to proceed and start prepping those custom beds.
All right, that's what I had them, I asked them to clear that off yesterday, so we got room for those. Oh, fucking God, man.
And that's gonna block the access going around there.
Yeah, we need to look at, we need to look at that. Well, we got that drop off there, so we can't keep the road around the edge of the building. It is what it is, man, we should have to set it up. This is where it's fucked up, we so need the crane guys here right now. It's just crucial that they be involved in this, and they're not, they can't be, we don't have one. Kinda hard to throw marbles, you don't have any pouch.
I don't know what to tell you, Toby. I don't have an answer.
We got a couple of superintendents with this company, I cannot imagine what they would be doing in this situation. I'm gonna make this
The
call.
question is, Toby,
Huh?
is that in your hands? You're not the one.
No, this is absolutely in my
Oh, it's
hand.
in your hands? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I
You're
can't-
writing the contract or not.
I can't stop, man, I can't stop.
Yeah, we run into that all the time, but it's like, well, I mean, we don't have to contract, you know.
No.
We did the research, it's on somebody else's plate, right?
Not my crane guy, I got a contract with the steel guy.
Oh, you
Steel
did?
providers providing the crane and the erection.
No, okay.
But the erection crew that did this, they're like, we got sand in our vagina, we can't do this. So, I don't know what the hell, I kinda felt like the steel guy, from day one when he walked in here, they were a problem. When you read some of his meetings, it's like, everything out of his mouth was, I can't. And I told Cody one day, when Cody was at this meeting, and he walked out, I said, don't freak out, dude, but there's gonna come a time when I'm gonna go, I'm not fucking paying you for what you can't do. I'm paying you for what you can do. If you got an issue, I don't give a fuck about your issue. I want you to come to me with 2 solutions, and I'll pick the solution. If I don't like it, I'll find a better one. If I don't know one, I'll get enough people together to make it happen. You know, I'm not great. I just look great because you guys are experts in your field, and that's what I do. But this shit's totally on me right now. I can't stop. I can't halt the project. Not only am I doing this one, but there's 1 million square feet on I-35 that we're going next. Hopefully all of us. If we can pull this something off 60 days early, I don't think I'm gonna have a problem dragging you guys with me to the next one. Unless y'all don't work for that asshole Toby anymore.
Nah, you're alright.
Today, not bad for the halfway guy. Today, Martin, I guess one of our projects, you guys had a run-in, of all people, he had a run-in with Bill Howard, the foreman, their superintendent out there. They don't get along. So they asked us, what's Tommy, you gotta go ahead and give us a rundown on your job. Because they're going to each superintendent, each project, running down what it's at. I said, well, first off, I would like to thank God, my parents, and Martin for me no longer being the asshole superintendent of the company. Then they said, Bill ran over somebody last week. And I'm like, wow. Bill, I taught you just to clean your gun during the meeting. I had another a subcontractor that I had him on one job, and I thought, man, we need to fire these guys, get rid of them, never work on them. He goes, okay, they already had 2 contracts on 2 projects with us. And lo and behold, after I finished that one, instead of coming here, I inherited a project. I inherited a project, and they were on it. And they, individually, I like them. I like the owners, I like the work, you know, all the workers, everybody's cool. Their fucking work ethic and their quality is just, it's just awful. They're just awful. Their quality of work is terrible. And they can't keep a schedule, and they're argumentative, and they're like change order crazy and all this shit. And they fuck stuff up a lot. So if you're doing good work and you have a change order, then it's negotiable. Like, okay, well, let's work out where this is a happy medium for both of us to make money. Those guys are just terrible. I have like,
I hate doing that. It's not even fun doing the paperwork on it. I don't.
I had a 19-item public works punch list on that 1 million square footer. Every single one of them was that subcontractor. So does that give you some idea of that? So everybody's like, Toby, you just don't get along with you guys. You're really hard on your subs if you don't like them. It's like, I like these guys individually. I fucking hate their work ethic. I don't like the way that they can't keep a schedule. They're contractually bound to certain obligations. They're not doing them. As long as you're staying, with your contractual obligations. Like if we do this, and the new director comes in and goes, this isn't gonna work, I'm gonna come in and say, you're gonna make it work.
You ain't gonna choose.
I would say it's a big
Once the panels are poured in,
I'm gonna say, yeah,
there's no going back.
this is literally carved in stone.
Yeah, literally. He can't change it.
I'm certified crane operator. Don't make me have to come out there and show you your job because, normally I'm $750 a day, but for you guys, it'd be $2,700 an hour for me to sit in that cab lift panel. You're gonna pay me $2,000 just to walk out there and sit in the cab, and then they'll figure out a way really quick to pick it up. Because if I got to show you, there's gonna be an instructional fee.
So we're doing, I guess, decent. I mean, building age is slow. I mean, we're not getting that done anytime soon. Just 30 foot a day, chipping away.
Man, I'm not worried about you guys in the least. I mean, if anything, I'm gonna be in trouble with you guys for this shit.
Can he start working on the water fire loop around building B?
Yes.
So I'm a big again on that.
Oh, shit.
I'm a big again on that.
Well, we gotta be careful not to cut them off because we're pouring concrete in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Are we doing it pours simultaneously? Are we alternating back and forth, or are we gonna pour all of A and then all of B?
We're gonna get A done and then jump in.
Okay, so you got.
I just got done I just need 2 weeks.
You got 4 weeks. Do not stand the hydrants. Don't stand the
4
hydrants.
weeks? I'm good.
Don't stand the hydrants yet?
Don't stand the hydrants because you'll run over them.
No, but the hydrant's gonna be in the air.
Oh yeah, we can't even put the
You
hydrants in
can
yet.
put your, you can put your.
We can't even put the hydrogen yet to the damn walls. Is there any way that they can start building a wall and stop short of the ramp
Well, I was
over
gonna start building walls on May 11th. So you see how that progress is.
there? Okay, because if we can get them to build the wall, then we can install all the inlets and shit, you know what I mean? But without the
So,
wall, we can't.
They were gonna start, May 11th was the original. I wanted to do all the walls and then bring the crane. But because A and B are 2 stories apart, I had to build a 400-foot ramp.
Oh, I understand the ramp. I just didn't know if they could lay like to the ramp and stop short or whatever. I don't
that
know.
is-
I just throwing ideas.
That is a possibility, but the hold up on that is that dam retention pond is in the way of the crane. And there's some extra shit, some PM stuff going on between Bill Howard and our house. So we need to cut that in and start at that T and then take the wall that way because it has to tie together. So that's the only thing we can do on our retaining walls is the little ones around the east end. And
So do we get our manhole or inlet tops yet? We got our inlet tops? No, not yet.
okay, Juan and Donato, you guys need to work hand in hand when you're setting those curb inlets, please.
Yeah.
Make sure that the curb inlets are straight, flat.
Give us money so we can go to lunch and talk about it.
They're concrete, guys, you know, they fucking hit that shit.
Hey, Donato, you know, one, he can reimburse lunch really easily at our company. So
When I get power
he's
in here,
capable of doing that. He can turn a reimbursement
when I
in.
get,
That's you, that's you.
Nope, I will approve it, no problem.
There you go.
As long as you don't spend more than, as long as you don't spend more than $100 between 2 of y'all, I'm cool, or 3 of y'all, whatever, $50 a person, I'm good. Put it in.
woo, I'll take mine to margaritas.
You gotta lunch all those.
When we get the power on in here, we'll all come in here, we'll have Marie Callender's microwave pot pies.
When you gonna get the power? Temporary.
Jeez, I don't know, man. Matter of fact, where the hell is Samuel? Why isn't he here? That's one of the priority items. They're gonna come to set a transformer and then we're gonna have another pole to come underground here.
Cause I'm making a lot of noise, so my internet.
He's like, hurry up, get your power plug, string by extension cord across and plug into it. You already tell Samuel to put your GFCI down at that end, so you bury your electric cord.
Very.
Alright, so,
Push for the custom bed, because I'm getting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You need casting bed approval?
Northeast.
Because it's hard to get on a concrete schedule. And, we're running out of time.
I mean, the skipping pedals, that's not a good idea.
what do y'all need approval from Aaron, or does Aaron need to get it from us?
I think they're pricing,
I mean, I haven't said it by the end of the day, it's gonna happen.
So just so y'all know, yesterday at 4:45 in the afternoon, I was on the phone with Aaron going, hey, get me these fucking prices. And we were mainly talking about the retaining walls. And again, everybody's concerned about C. I don't give a shit about C. C is gonna be a big shit sandwich, and I'm not worried about it until
But
January.
that's the thing, you PM want the whole package.
I don't understand that.
I don't know.
I don't care if we piecemeal it. I know he's looking after the budget, but I want to get out of here in April. And we're looking right now, when we get to February, we might be getting done in May. I want to be done in April, punch list in May, C of O and be out of here. That's way ahead of schedule, but that's when I need to be at the other job. We all need to be at that other job. But for now, this thing's going really well. We've actually caught another project that's 90 days ahead of us. If we didn't have this little snag here with the crane, we would catch them. And they started 3 months ahead of me. So, and that's not the big deal of the race of it is. I want us all to get the fuck in here, get this shit done and get out because bonus, everybody's gonna make money if we get out here quicker.
Yeah, but the way we're going, I don't see that happening, mister, so.
The biggest
We gotta start making three.
biggest priority is the retaining wall.
Yes, and well, another thing that's really got me worried is if we can go on a 7-day break, which we're not gonna be setting I need to get that thing set because we want it to be there I mean, I would like it to be there at least 21 days before we set on it. Well, what do you think?
The other option is using the high early mix, boom, 3 days break, done, let's go.
Yeah, but what's the price difference on Harley? I mean, Harley's
Why is he the regular country?
like $1.50 a fucking yard instead of 89 or what? What are we paying like? What are we paying?
Nah, they ain't anymore.
I tell you what, what's concrete, 140, 150 yard right now?
Right now it's 162.
For high earth or for just
No, just regular.
just for 3,000?
Yeah, just for 35.
$1.60 a
What,
fucking
higher is
yard.
another $40 a yard?
I'm about 200. Yeah.
$1,600 a truck.
Mm-hmm. So, no, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking higher than draft lifting.
So y'all gotta forget it, man. I'm from the world. I'm from
You
the
were
world.
still in the 2000s, bro.
I'm looking out my window and I get out there and throw some shit in that fucking batch plant and pump it out at $12 a yard. Charge me 89 and get it on side.
Well, if you own a concrete plant right now, you're literally just swimming in money. You're just swimming.
If you
in
can get the
money.
raw materials, that's what the big thing is that people couldn't get raw materials.
Martin Marietta, they got.
Martin Marietta was even hurt. When Martin Marietta was shipping their shit from India,
Yep.
Cowtown,
Fly ash or just Portland?
I don't know, just raw materials.
No
is all
fly
I
ash.
thought.
Every year is a fly ash problem. Every single summer. You know what I mean?
Well, you know that, I think between 2021, we did like 12 million cubic yards of concrete in DFW. And they said in 2021 and 2022, they're gonna do 16 and they couldn't even produce that shit. They brought 2 new plants online. One of them broke and the other one had a fucking kill on it, part of the kilns were down. So they were at half production. And everybody, like when we started this fucking job, and that was the big sweat was, can you get concrete? Because ECS was calling me and I asked him, hey, how many fucking cancellations do you have in a week? And he goes, people can only get 500 yards at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that old last winter, I mean January when we were pouring, Martin Marietta would only allocate us 250 yards a day.
Yeah.
That was all
That's
we were
true.
allowed to get.
Well, that's what Bill's getting 500. I think he was getting 500 a day, but he was only getting like one
Oh,
pour
yeah.
a week.
Mm-hmm.
They would only give him one pour a week.
Sorry,
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah,
you
by
guys
this
are-
afternoon,
you
you're
guys
gonna
are
have that
the
right.
schedule. You need casting beds. You need that from Ariel. Hang on, Georgia. So we're looking at casting beds, retaining wall.
Yes.
That shit should happen today.
I mean, it's not, you gotta call Toby. Where's my shit?
Well, the thing is, y'all are all yelling at me for approvals, and I'm having to build a ladder for approvals. and it's just-
Well, look, if nobody doesn't remind me of the day, there's a chance I won't forget about it. I mean, if it's not me, you know what I mean?
Do what?
If I don't get an answer by the end of the day, I need like, well, like, call me, dude. Did you hear about, X inland or whatever? Like, shit, thank you, call me.
Stop telling me at 2:15 you need densities, because I gotta tell them by 2:15. You told me yesterday at 2:14.
You called me?
I called you, said you need densities? Yeah, because I needed to schedule it before 2:30.
We just got for this week, so
You
we
need,
just have to do.
you need densities this week? Yeah, I need one in the
This guy
morning.
is like all there right here, and then like 70 feet from the pier, all clear. And 100 feet.
He needs 5 feet on this side too. They would need to be able to get a skid steer or some shit around it.
Okay, so another 20 on this side.
That'd be
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you need to put all this up. So,
Because they're gonna
he
get,
was gonna try to lay down his feet, then he was gonna try to backfill all this from everywhere.
Yeah, we talked about it next week, and he's with the good fucking shit for his throw.
we may shift that shit down a little bit, because they're already walking some of that. Now with those two down there at the red circle.
Do they gotta pour a slab down here to pour these on?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, sacrifice that, but those with the red circle on it, I'm trying to stack those up there, but it's not looking like we're gonna be able to, because this panel is the last panel.
They have to do this
I don't know, this is
for the way they finish right here. We used to.
for as simple as this building is, this motherfucker is extremely difficult to get around in because of the drop off around it. That's wrong one, A and C both.
Can see that backside over there. Ooh, bad.
Well, I was, when I first got on this job, I told him.
Brother, sí, brother, porque ¿por qué se hace abajo?
The crane's gonna have to reach out 56 feet and get that, and he goes, they can do that. We can't reach out 30.
Sí, señor.
And if you, for every
No, con el
20,000
piso y
pounds,
luego
you're
nomás
gonna have 5 foot less.
apunte la con el centro porque los estancas no
And I
van.
fucking got it for center
La
wall,
estaca que está en medio es la del
minimum
centro, creo.
46 feet, unsafe. So then those guys are pissing and moaning about the back.
Sí, esa madre, con esa madre, con esa
What do you
madre.
think about that? You wanna pick up some backfill compaction action? I already
We
talked
don't,
about.
we don't know what we're doing, we're idiots.
Y'all haven't failed compaction yet, they have. I actually brought 2 other companies in here to bid and backfill. I brought 3 companies in here to haul off that rock and can't get rid of it. But they're telling me it's high pH, and you know it's high pH.
Yeah, every time you get that kind of rock right there, it's always heavy, so
Yeah.
they'll line the shit, I mean, they line.
It is
They,
lined,
they,
but
what
here's,
did they do with it?
so they just approved it for backfill material, after these 2 people, 2 different labs told me no, now they're saying yes. But look at that thing, when it rained 13 inches, the entire backside of the building washed off into the apartment complex, the whole back property. That some bitch didn't go anywhere, so.
So when we were on 635, they had the same problem. Bill Howard was over there processing rock just like this on 635. I forget what they had to do because the pH level was so high in it that they couldn't use it, you know what I mean?
You have to put sand or some shit
I
on it.
don't know what they had to do to it. They had to do something to get it approved. They had to mix it, blend it. I don't know what they were.
That's what I was told by one lab, told me you need some kind of a binder in there, but some kind of a clay base or a fucking.
That's what it was, you know what I mean? Because what do they call that? The simple, you know.
Binder, just something to glue it
Yeah.
together, cause when you crush that shit together, I mean, it crushes down to a certain extent, but it's gonna continue to settle, I think. I don't know what the theory is behind it, but.
I'm not, all I know is I don't like black dirt and I don't like white rock.
And that's what we got, man, solid rock and farm dirt. Solid rock, farm dirt, blue shale. I mean, they're 100 feet apart, and all 3 of these buildings are totally
When I
different.
see black dirt, I was like, oh, this is gonna suck digging and chiggers, right? You know what I mean?
You gotta mix it, you gotta mix it with something else. Try mixing that black swamp dirt with the farm dirt. That's fun, it smells good.
They start doing moisture conditioning, which is my #1 hatred in the world.
Really?
I hate moisture
I get like 3 months of moisture conditioning on all my fucking jobs.
conditioning.
We did moisture conditioning here for 3 months.
Yeah, they did it right back here.
Yeah, I did 4 months over at H1 Exchange, moisture conditioning every fucking day.
I just assumed drill beers would be done.
I had moisture conditioning, stand and tilt walls, and at one point I was doing moisture conditioning, stand and tilt walls, and putting a roof on. All the same project at the same
You
time.
wanna wear out a piece of equipment really quick, moisture conditioning will do it. That's just.
Like on a
hard.
bulldozer,
Huh?
like for a bulldozer?
Yeah, it eats undercarriages up like motherfucker.
No shit, cause
It's in the mud.
I had 6 out here going at one
Oh,
time.
it eats undercarriage. You know how much undercarriage costs on a D6 right now?
I don't know, but the damn things are down every week. We had a D9, 2
Oh.
D6s, and a
Fun fact,
Komatsu.
D9 undercarriage right now, just to change the tracks, is $160,000.
No shit, they done
About every
that.
2,000 hours.
They changed 4 tracks and an engine on D6s out here. D6, D8, and D9.
Yeah.
D6,
yeah, I think they said it's like 70 grand right now.
They had one down there, Bob, they were working on it. I came in over the weekend, they started working on it on Saturday. I came in Monday, with some bitch had burned up and caught on fire and burned the whole fucking front end off. They threw a new motor in it, new windshield on it, we're out here driving it 3 days later. Yeah.
It's money, right?
No, not my money, I don't care. Thanks, guys. Here.